So do inventory first. That's your first step. Go through your entire house. There was one time I had a full year supply, and we had food under the beds, in the closets, in the attic, everywhere. And I really felt good about it. But then we had a job layoff, and we went through a lot of it. And I didn't mind going through it because I liked experiencing how well I was prepared. So that's what I want to teach you today, is that confidence. So once you have gone through and inventoried everything, I actually have a 3-ring binder that is called my prepper book. I keep my inventory in the prepper book. So I just have regular college ruled paper put in my notebook. Then, so that's your initial page, is what is your inventory. Your second page is going to be, if I had to plan 7 days of meals for my family, what would I write down? What would they eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
So I'm taking the advice of Annette from the Biblical Nutritionist, and I am putting together a 30-day amount of food. For my 30-day food, I am considering minimal to no electricity at all. So I'm trying to get things that require as little to no electricity as possible. So mainly from my jars and canned foods. So I have my list. Let's go over what I have. So basically she suggests that you do 1 week and then you divide that by 4. So you're basically having the same meals 4 times in a month, which I think is a really good idea. It makes it a lot easier. So you can just start with a week's worth and you can add to that, or you can just, however basically you want to take the inventory like she said, then you know what you have on hand and you just take from what you already have to make a month. So if you only have 3 of one item, just substitute for a different one. So this is mine. So I started on like a Sunday and then go through Saturday. So I'll just read everything that I have. So for breakfast, oatmeal, applesauce, or fresh fruit. So we do the quick oatmeals, which require 1 minute. So that would require 1 minute of warming up. And you can even use these little things here from the Dollar Tree. This is a Chafing Fuel, also called Fancy Fuel. They use these for catering and parties. So I will actually do a video, let me know if you're interested in that, on using this fuel to warm up some oatmeal. I've seen someone make biscuits with it. And so that one was $1, and I think it will last for 2.5 hours. So it's a really cheap source of fuel. And you can use it indoors, without having to worry about like any leakage or anything like propane. So lunch, bean burritos, using like a can of beans and a tortilla. So have to have tortillas for that, which you cannot really preserve those long term. So if we were out without electricity, I would have the use of a generator and the small fridge behind me. But ideally, just having enough in a mini fridge, like with a small freezer, but mainly just the fridge. You want to do very, very minimal refrigeration in a case of a power outage or grid down. Just depends on how long, but you want to be prepared for a long term. So 30 days is what I want to be prepared for. 30 days with no electricity. Alright, so bean burritos and canned veggies, salsa and chips, and then I put rice also. I want to get the instant rices, like the minute rice, which I stopped buying because they're more expensive, but with no electricity, rice would be very hard to make. It would require a lot of cooking. a lot of energy source. So I think investing in the quick rice and the quick pastas is a good option. Dinner, Manwich. So I would use the can of Manwich and then a pressure canned ground meat, ground turkey or ground beef, and then beans. And so when I do say beans or vegetables or fruit, it's going to be a variety as long as I have the quantity needed. That's the main thing. Like you can do a variety of different ones. So day 2, breakfast, I put egg in a jar. I have eggs with bacon or sausage and potatoes in my canned good jars. So I put 8 eggs because I was thinking if we had chickens at that point, then we would need about 8 eggs. So either in the jar or if we have fresh eggs, we could do that. I like the in the jar option because it provides a whole meal already cooked. So it's really yummy. You could just have it with a little bit of salsa or a little bit of cheese, like the cheese sauce. And then fruit on the side, either fresh, applesauce, or canned. So there's like options. Peanut butter sandwiches for lunch with crackers and fruit. I'm just not very creative when it comes to meal plan, y'all. So I might change this up as I'm actually getting it all, like putting it all together. We'll see. And then for dinner, raviolis, canned vegetables, and then I put pasta, like making some pasta, like with some sauce to go with that. Because canned raviolis, I love them, but they're not very filling. And then for the next day, the third day, I put cereal with almond milk. We have shelf-stable almond milk and fruit. Lunch would be the canned ham, like the chopped ham, sandwich. And so you want to put the ingredients of each item that you're making. You want to make sure you have the ingredients for that. So I put mayo and bread, and then vegetables. Dinner, beefaroni and veggies. The next day, Wednesday, it's peanut butter sandwiches and fruit for breakfast. Lunch is tuna salad. I put tuna, mayo, corn, or peas. And I guess we could do like some cheese sauce too. Or if we have a bag of shredded cheese, add that to it. Dinner is canned chicken. So it could be like a chicken salad, which would be with mayonnaise and maybe some peas and cheese. Or just the canned chicken like warmed up, I guess, with mashed potatoes. And then also I could do the jars of chicken because I have jars of chicken. So that would be an option. Either or. And we have both. So. And then Thursday breakfast is cereal, milk, and fruit. Lunch is tacos. So we could do either the soft or hard shells. Hard shells would be, they would preserve a lot longer. So I think I'm going to go with the hard shell. Taco shells, cheese sauce, salsa, veggies, and rice. I could also do like some refried beans with that. I have these giant cans of refried beans, so might be more than enough for one meal. Depends on, if it's just me and the boys, 3 boys and me, depending on if Daddy's home. When Daddy's home, then it would be different. We would need extra, so. Dinner would be soup, like the canned soup, with crackers and added pasta. Breakfast for the next day, which is Friday, oatmeal and fruit. Another option is like trail mix. I'm thinking of making like some homemade trail mix. I do have I just bought 2 big containers of the old-fashioned oats to make trail mix. I have lots of nuts, so you also want to add like snacks. Sometimes my boys just snack, and so I'm definitely going to be adding a lot of snacks to this, like nuts and crackers for, snacking on. So, lunch is nachos, which is like the tortilla chips with beans, cheese, and salsa. We could also do like some rice with that. Dinner is, I have like the canned Polish sausages like in the jar. I also have some soup with this sausage, so either that or a vegetable and mashed potatoes. Saturday is eggs in a jar and fruit. I was also thinking of doing some boiled eggs in the jar, like the pickled eggs in a jar for another breakfast option. Or another thing, which I have like 4 cans right now, is the corned beef hash, which is like eggs and potatoes and corned beef, which I've never tried. So that might be another good option. Lunch, peanut butter, sandwiches, and fruit. So all the sandwiches, I'll have to have enough bread to do these, sandwiches. And I always buy extra bread, but I freeze it. So if there's no electricity, that's not going to be an option. So I definitely have to do something else. But my boys, they don't eat a lot. I mean, they have days where they eat a lot, but most of the time they don't. They eat like twice a day. I eat like twice a day. So I eat breakfast and then I eat like dinner, and I might have like snacks in between. So that's another thing. Also, when you're, prepping for long-term situations, is consider limiting it to 2 meals. Consider intermittent fasting. That's a good way to lose weight. I definitely could use some intermittent fasting in my life. And then for the dinner on the 7th day is soup. And then I put chicken, so like soup or chicken soup and veggies. That's what I have. I'd love to see your 30-day meal plan if you're gonna do that, or you intend on planning on a video, or if you have any good resources, just let me know in the comments. I would love to see it. And make sure to go show some love and check out Annette's channel. She has lots of good resources, the Biblical Nutritionist. Check her out.